Alright, so today I want to talk a little more about the shoulder press. Last week we talked about how the shoulder press, sometimes people press too much and there's all kinds of problems with like stability and things like that. So for a lot of people, one thing that they can do is a shoulder push-up. It's actually going to be a little bit easier than a shoulder press, a little bit safer. Again, depending on the individual's shoulder issues. So all we're doing is just get the butt up high. It's kind of like a push-up, but again, the emphasis is more on the shoulder. Okay, we're a lot more vertical this way. All right, so do it down, hold for a second, push it up, nice and easy. Okay, so if you need to modify that, you can always move it back a little bit like this. Now it becomes a little bit more of a push-up. You're still getting a little more shoulders, but you're also getting the chest when you do it that way. The more you're straight up like this, the more you increase the angle, the more it becomes shoulders. I'm not really feeling this in the chest at all. Feeling this a lot in the shoulder. This way you don't have to worry about it like kind of wobbling around like you would if you're doing an overhead press. And alright, that's kind of like the beginning way to do it. And we can always make it like a little bit harder, which I'll show you in a second. The next step to make it a little bit harder is to elevate the feet. Okay, so now we're fighting gravity a lot more. And again, we want to be straight up with this. Maybe a slight bend in your knee. Again, is just like kind of like a safer way to do a shoulder press. Again, if you're able to do it. If you have the hamstring flexibility, and can get your butt up that high, if you have the calf flexibility, this is a great way to do it. No? But if you don't have the flexibility there, you're gonna have to go down a little bit further again, turning it more into like a regular push-up. So right now, I'm really feeling my shoulders, my upper chest. And again, for a lot of people with shoulder instability, it's a little bit safer. Alright, so you saw earlier, we did the handstand push-up, or sometimes called the plank push-up, and then we made it a little harder by elevating our feet. Alright, so now we're going to make it harder by elevating our feet even more. Now we're going to use the entire body to do this. I'm not even super great at this, so sometimes I tend to make it safer. I put my feet up on the wall, which is how you should do it first before you go into the full handstand. So just look at this. And you can always make it easier or harder, depending on where your hand placement is. The wider you go, the more it's going to be shoulder and lat. You bring your hands real close together, it's going to be more tricep. So as I move my feet farther up the wall, it's going to get exponentially harder. You go down. You want to start with your elbows and your wrists in a straight line. Push up hard. So if this wall wasn't behind me and I was doing a handstand push-up like 100% without it being supported by the wall, then I'd be lifting the entire weight of my body in a shoulder press position. That would be the equivalent of doing like 165 pounds in the shoulder press. So this way is actually a lot easier for me and for some other people too. Really depends on the individual, but because I've had rotator cuff problems before, it's hard for me to keep the stability. Like as I do a shoulder press, sometimes it gives out. This way it doesn't, because my hand is in a fixed position, so I can't really get it out from my shoulder. So other people work like that also, and it's kind of like work for them. So for a lot of people, it is a much safer alternative than the overhead press. Same thing with the overhead press before. You actually don't want two right angles. You actually want to kind of like bring your elbows in slightly, like I was kind of showing you on the ground right there. Well, there it is, handstand push-up. And if you want to make it like a little harder, you can elevate your hands more. Now they're covering more distance. You can put your hands in like the perfect push-up or something like that, or even like a weight, a couple like benches, each hand on a bench. This can make it that much harder. And now there's more distance to cover. You want to make it harder? Take one leg off the wall. Now there's less support. But now I have to go a little further off the wall.